All right. Just a quick one because I found out the last one I'd been talking for half an hour and the thingy wasn't there. I know no one's watching in the moment, but at some point if I want to come back, I need to actually switch over to something like this. So, yeah, just a quick check to make sure things are working. Kind of get to the end here. That's okay. Uh, I'd gone through and successfully been able to um, use WebCat. Um, I built it out. We got all the way there. WebCat, and we're talking to WebCat. I don't know. Let's say we want to go home. WebCat about. You just give it that, and it'll go pull the contents. It's gonna ask every time. I wish it didn't have to, but I get that. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I asked for the full text. It gave me a summary. Um, cool. I got it working. Okay, that's good to know. Um, Briefly, I'd like to just go back through a few things um, just to make life a little bit easier here. So we left off getting the Echo server up and running. I went through and got a very cute little image there, but walked through kind of a script and some trial and error. I'd like to kind of just highlight that here while it's all hot in my head. Kind of walked us through. So I was asking how to just host an API. Write your Python API, hello world. Where's this stuff where can you make a simple web page scraping API? So just using the tool to do things. It's telling me what to install. Create your Flask application. Like, there's no magic here. You can type the same prompt. It'll come back with something similar, not the exact same. It would be any page. Just want to plug into a URL and get the text of the page. As you saw earlier, it was working. So then I'm like, okay, it's going to give me some code. It's going to tell me how to use it. It's going to say the first 5,000 characters. I just wanted a cutoff limit. I don't know if this all made it through, and this really highlights one of the caveats with trying to do this is, big conceptual things. Sometimes things just get lost in the conversation, especially when it comes to code. And the idea here was that I want to test. Maybe I don't want everything in. Now that it's working, it's okay for now. Obviously, the goal here would be to come back and kind of shore this up a little bit as we move forward. It's telling me to do some weird stuff about getting this to run. Don't really need to worry about that. So now I'm asking, can this script be improved to be the general scraper to avoid common issues? I don't want adverts. I don't want weird things like that coming in. It's a basic scraping service meant to extract text and inject it into the chat, which it has done. Error handling and retries. Implement error handling to manage HTTP errors. Okay, it's telling me a bunch of ideas. I wanted API authentication. Didn't give me that. Respecting robots. Giving me a lot of good stuff. Can you make the script use it? It was library. Yeah, sure, we'll add it in. It does seem to have done a pretty good job. Key components, and here it's telling me how to test the script now. It's telling me, hey, send it here, get it to scrape it out, come back, and call it good. Can you give me a prompt? Do the prompt to create the script. So here the idea was I was trying to get it to kind of condense the information back down into a single prompt that I don't know if I wanted to hand it off somewhere. Maybe even test it against different environments. It'd be really interesting to have a little shooting gallery where I could run it against different models and just see, how good are the other models working with this? How are they comparing? I don't think this is a huge ask. This should be in the realm of any kind of competent AI coding assistant to facilitate, to do. It's not a hard thing. These are pretty proven concepts, lots of libraries out there. It's not like it was years ago trying to work with this stuff. All right, so I'm just questioning it. It's good to question it. Does the script actually make use of this library? 3.5 was never so good at answering this well. 4 has been. And I attribute it as one of the things that 4 just does so much better than 3.5. Yes, it does. It goes through a long explanation. Can you make the script take an output argument? So JSON, text, HTML, I guess. Possibly. It's going to update the code, so it's going to go through. Didn't do a very good job once again, because it's only worrying about the final output, not the errors. The nature of working with it, you got to prompt it along a little bit more. Maybe in 6 months it'll be good enough and it'll start getting some of these simple issues, and there'll be less of a need to be so diligent in guiding it. You maybe focus on some of the bigger architectural pieces than so much in the detail. I don't know. If not, so highlight a line. I'm asking it to split it into 2. I don't like this or missing URL or access denied. Quite different errors. I'd like to know which one happened. Just makes it easier to debug. It's a little bit of kind of, sage wisdom coming through years of doing this kind of thing. So now it's adding in, it's got all the user agents, it's got all this stuff. It's telling me how to test it again. And said, hey, you ignored the JSON output. So it forgot it was working with JSON output. It's like, oh, my apologies. Makes the adjustments, tells me once again how to test it both ways, which I like. And then I went and put it into my my webcap service. So let me bring that up. Why not? Wrong one there. Kind of see me working through. It's what was there before. So I was like, okay, here's the service. Like, in order to get this to work on my environment, so I had to write a service to do that. I think I discussed that in the last one. I can't remember if it was the broken one or the one before that. And then, I kept getting these problems. And if you can kind of see from my install history here, I'd forgotten to put the requirements on. I wasn't able to find the libraries it was looking for. And I got there by basically checking the status of the service. So once I installed things, I tried running it locally. Well, actually, I tried running it locally first. That's when I got the detailed error about not finding the library. And then I installed libraries, and then I restarted it, and then I checked its status, and it said, hey, I'm good. And then I was like, hey, cool, buddy. Can you go scrape this thing for me? I'm checking the local host version. Just want to make sure that local host is working. And I was like, hey, there's no proxy, there's no Nginx. Once again, cutting back to kind of the core thing I'm looking for. Is that piece working? Okay, move up the chain, check the next thing. So after that, I moved up the chain, and I was able to test it and to get it all functional. So then it just kind of walked me through. Here's that command where it's like, hey, try running it manually, see what it does. I did that. And that's where I picked up the dependencies being wrong or being missing. There's another way to get deeper information. Then this came about. And then I was over here. Let's go explore some GPTs, my GPTs. Go edit this thing. So then once it was there, and I was like, hey, it's working. Here's the source code for it. Kind of a highlighted manner. GitHub /t-rav/webcat will get you to the source code repository. It's out there. You want to make your own version. You want to play with it. You want to poke at it. You want to see what it was able to produce. Go have a look. Go nuts. I hope people find value in this. So the thing was, when I came here and I wanted to create an action, I got no authentication just because it seemed to have forgotten that. I will definitely be poking at it a bit more after I end this. So you can't see the things that matter a lot. The problem was getting the schema. So I'd opened up the little chat bot to make this by clicking the create the API for this, and it's like and I was like, okay, no, I want this test command, the one I literally pulled from my web server I just showed you, to run it. So I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll go make that for you. And I really love the fact, absolutely find this awesome, that I can take the one kind of small artifact it produced for testing and now feed that into making an API definition for it to consume to kind of spin out that tiny little service, the WebCat service. So it's like, cool, does the local host. I go to paste it in, and it's like, oh, no, you can't have local host URLs, buddy. So I was like, oh, please go replace it with the actual web URL. So it did that for me. That's when I took it. I pasted it here. In fact, maybe it's worth just going here. I pasted it here. In context path scrape are missing schema properties. I'm not sure what that means, but it seems to work. It's probably trying to be smart about my output typey things. Maybe I should just get rid of that. But it needed me to make a privacy policy. So I did. We did that. I came back here. I made a new page. And I was like, okay, cool. Here's my privacy policy. I just asked it for one. I literally just threw the date in, gave it the location, threw the date in, and went, okay, that seems pretty reasonable. I'm happy with that. There's probably things I don't know about privacy policies I'm missing, but it let me get through the step here. I tried to be as diligent as I could, not just throwing down a high, a privacy policy that was empty. You can see it's picked up the one method. Based on that, I can test it. But that's kind of was the journey. I got things there. I managed to use their GPT bot to feed that. So that's an interesting one. I wonder. Let's go back here. And can I say at actions GPT, make me a so I wonder if I could have just added it from here. And there it is. I could have. So coming back to that piping concept, I didn't even actually need to leave here to go there. I did because I'm working through this as kind of a first-time person, and that's what the more natural order would be. But now as someone who's informed, I can see it's very possible for me to have just said, hey, take this output command and send it through. Let's go pop that up. I'm super curious now. Scrape, copy. I didn't actually check it to see if it was the... Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe that was the one. Type object. Yeah, I got a little bit of a different response there. Something I probably need to play with a little bit more. Maybe when I do the next one, I can see if I can kind of just chain it from building the code in the chat to then feeding it into the open API schema definition to then coming back and pasting it here. I think personally, I think that's pretty incredible. And then it knows how to make use of it. It knows how to pull that through. I don't know. Let's go somewhere like... let's go here. Let's go check these guys out. All right, here. I'm just gonna give it that URL. Let's see what it can do. It's going to start the action. It's going to confirm. Kind of back to where we started. I think we missed some of the journey. I'm sad about that, but I hope I provided an accurate enough recap. So it's trying to be helpful, kind of getting in the way. It's probably not an actual huge amount of text on here. Yeah. Okay. Let's maybe find something that's got a little more text on it. Yahoo.com. I don't know. Let's go somewhere weird. Let's go pick on the number 10 person here. Let's go find that. Let's go see if it'll scrape something like that. I mean, I have absolutely and full text for publicly released. Okay, hold on. What do we got? Go away. You see, WebCat still seems to be getting in the way here. That's interesting. I will definitely need to poke around a little more. It seems to be more capable in this. On these like simple pages. Like I said, it's obviously going to have some problems. Like, I mean, I just put together the simplest. So, it'll give me the full text there. So I know it's capable. I do wonder if there's some kind of open API stuff behind the scenes that it's tripping up on. Okay. Anyway, that has been almost another 20 minutes I didn't plan on here, just because the first version didn't work out so well. I hope that you found that useful. We got to the end, making WebCat. We'll probably do a little tuning, just to kind of see where that gets to. Cool. All right. Thanks, everyone.